Okay, it's all set, 6:29.
Okay, I'm showing 6:30. I'd like to call this public hearing to order for zoning amendments on December 15th at 6:30. Jenny, roll call.
Matt,
Here.
Ben,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Paula,
Here.
Tammy,
Here.
Marty.
Here.
Okay, the topics for the public hearing is ordinance 2020-49 and ordinance amending section 450.07 of the zoning ordinances of the Village of Mantua relating to illumination of signs. This is third reading. The other subject is 2020-50 and ordinance amending various sections of chapter 480 of the zoning ordinances of the Village of Mantua relating to exterior property maintenance. This is also a third reading. Do we have any citizens out there, Michelle?
Shoot. No, I have no public comment at this time.
Is there any discussion from council on these?
So the one with the backlit signs, just so everybody understands, that's like the sign at Jake's. So it's like backlit, plastic front, right? Type thing.
Or internally lit, yes.
Internally lit, right? So two things. If I understand it correctly, places that have these types of signs already are able to keep them. But if something happens to the sign and needs to be replaced, they have to replace it with this new type of sign.
Correct.
Is that in this language here?
It's in the legislation. If you got the legislation in front of you.
Yeah, I got it here. I just didn't see where it said that.
Scott, you have it in front of you?
I do not, Mayor.
I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
Thank you.
I thought I did.
Okay, section 3 of the ordinance itself, the enacting legislation, says internally illuminated signs existing as of the effective date of this ordinance shall be governed by section 450.16 of the zoning ordinances, and that has to do with non-conforming signs.
Got it right there. All right, cool.
So they can repair a sign. They can't replace the sign. You know what I mean? Internally lit sign. If they have to do a minor, pardon me.
I said, like, if the light bulb goes out, they can replace that. But
Right.
if the outside breaks from wind or something, then they have to replace the whole thing, or if it falls down.
Right.
Just the language reads a little ambiguous. Existing as of this date are governed, but maybe I gotta go see what section 450.16 is.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I understood that properly. Okay. And then regarding 2020-50, what was the definition of an improved parcel again? That got scratched out in section 1.
We changed it to saying that it had to have street frontage.
Yeah, I just want,
To improve parcel. So that those properties like behind Mantua Station Drug have no street frontage and you can't get to it because the streets were never built, they don't have to mow those because there's no street frontage.
Gotcha. Okay, I guess I was just wondering what the definition of an improved parcel was. Right,
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah, gotcha. Then I thought I had,
Like, actually, is there, what about like the pastures and the hay fields on Canada Road? Parcels fronting on village streets shall be maintained. And, you know, the hay fields get higher than 9 inches.
You're rural residential, Paula.
Zoning of the village of Mantua is hereby. So this doesn't hit rural residential. I'm sorry, I don't have a zoning book and ordinance in front of me.
I think this is one of those instances where a modicum of common sense will be exercised when enforcing. So clearly, if it's an agricultural setting where you know that you wouldn't be cutting it, it's not your lawn. I don't think that you're going to have the zoning inspector knocking down your door to enforce this.
Yeah. Thanks, Michelle. That sounds real good today, tonight. Oh, yeah.
all right, then real quick on section 2, again, I'm just looking for discussion on this. Why did it go from any place in the premises just to in the public right of way?
I think planning didn't feel like they could enforce things that were 200 feet down someone's backyard.
Yeah, sure, okay. Yep, I'm cool, thank you.
Are there any citizens out there yet?
I have no comment.
Any other further discussion by council? Matt, any more questions? Paula,
Nope, no, thank you.
Scott, Ben, Marty?
No.
All good.
It's
I just
been
want to make
seven-
sure I understood it fully, that's all.
Okay, it's been 7 minutes. We'll wait another couple minutes and in case somebody's hurrying home from work to log on.
Hi, everybody. This is Gene Basiti. I just thought I'd let you know I joined about 2 minutes late and I was listening to you talk, but I'm on the phone.
Hi, Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Hi.
Hey, Gene.
How you guys doing?
We thought we scared you off, Gene.
Okay, it's 6:30. If there's still no one there, no public comment, somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Paula,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Matt,
yes.
Marty.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the regular council meeting, December 15th at 6:39. Jenny, if you do roll call, please.
Tammy,
Yes. Here.
Marty,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have a moment of silence. If anybody else does, please let me know before I go on. Okay, motion to accept the November 17th regular council meeting minutes. Any discussion?
So moved.
Any discussion? Okay, Ben made a motion.
Second.
Marty,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the December 1st special council meeting minutes. They read more like a report than they do a discussion. On this, I see where all the recommended changes are on these, but none of the actual discussion. So I do want to bring something up prior to approving them, not that I'm asking anyone to change them. I had sent you all an email on December 7th. You all received that?
Mm-hmm.
I'll read it for you. It says, Council, I feel the need to correct something that was said during the appropriations workshop last week. During the discussion of the water meters to be installed at the park, I made a point that it is what it is because the voters elected to go that route. Ben said, no, the voters didn't. It was just 4 people on council that did it. The 3 council people and you, meaning me. There was no time when I had to break a tie vote on any legislation relating to the water and sewer transfer agreement. From the vote on the original ordinance 2019-49 on November 19th, 1990, the vote was as followed. Motion to approve by Scott Weaver, second by Bob Gaglione. Ben Prescott voted no, all others voted yes. For the legislation authorizing the MOU with the county to make amendments to the transfer agreement on 2020-45 that was done on November 20th, 2020, the vote was as follows. Matt Rosenlau moved to approve, was the second by Scott Weaver. Ben no, all others yes on roll call. The only ties I've had to break recently were on November 20th to pass 2020-30, allowing planning and BZA to waive fees, and a motion to amend 2020-50 on the quorums of the Landmark Commission. I wanted you all to know that I feel the need to correct this at our next meeting so that it is in the record. Ben, if you can point to any specific legislation or even a motion where I had to break a tie relating to the water and sewer transfer, please tell me now.
I have no comment.
So you're not even going to comment that you were incorrect? Nothing. Okay,
My comment would be that we all are all certainly entitled to our opinions, but we should all be a little bit more responsible with our our comments and accusations as we move forward.
And I think that when we do make a mistake, we ought to apologize for it.
I second that.
well, thank you both. We'll move on. Motion to approve the special council meeting report, minutes, whatever you want to call it.
So moved.
Second.
Ben,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Paula.
Yes.
Okay, I have no mayor's report tonight. Are there any citizens out there, Michelle?
I have no comments at this time. Thank you.
Jenny, financial reports, please.
Our meeting this month is early, December 15th, so we still have more bills that are going to be coming in. Like I do every year, I'd like to ask council's permission to pay any bills that come in as long as the department heads sign off on them. I probably need a motion for that.
So moved.
I'll second.
Paula,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
Thank you. Our tax updates, we're on track with just about everything. Our income tax is on track now. For gas tax, we collected our normal amount, but if you remember, we were looking for that extra, I think it was about 31,000 that we were going to set aside for Matt's Road, and we've actually only collected about half of that. So we're down a little bit on that. License tax, we're down almost 40,000, and permissive tax, we've collected about 72% of what we had planned on getting. I really don't have anything else unless anybody has a question for me.
Jenny, I have a quick question. I was at the fire board meeting yesterday and Frank from Shalersville mentioned that they got a round 4 of CARES Act COVID relief funding. Did we get a round 4?
Nope.
Okay. Is that something we should be anticipating?
I didn't think so.
Yeah. That's something we can look into?
Yeah, we should.
I'll just chime in here. I think that, I know that we came really close to spending everything, but I think in order to qualify for any of the redistributed funds, you actually have to spend every last penny. That's how I understand it. So then whatever's returned to the county auditors gets divided up among the political subdivisions that did spend every last penny.
Okay, I'm pretty
Close.
sure they did, so that makes sense. And they said that that 4th round wasn't a whole lot, so
Okay,
it's probably in line with what you're
that's
saying.
where it came from.
Yep.
How much did we end up not spending, Jenny?
It's about $438.
Really? That close?
That was it. Come on, Joe. You couldn't figure that one out?
If we would have known that, we probably would have bought a bunch of hand sanitizer or something.
Yeah.
I got 32 gallons. How much more do we need? I wanted to leave room for air, just a little bit of a cushion. We call that the just in case money.
Well, it's too late to use that just in case, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, would someone, if there's no other questions on the financial report, would someone like to make a motion to accept the financial report?
So moved.
I'll
Second.
Matt,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Ben.
Yes.
Motion to approve the bills of resolution and the addendum bills of resolution. Any discussion?
So have the touchless switches actually been installed then at the village hall?
Yes, the only thing that I didn't see that was installed was that walk-through thing by the door.
Oh,
Also, the
moved that-
lights, the light
I
switch
moved-
by the front door isn't motionless either.
That one, I got to read the directions on that one by the front entrance. Mayor, for the movie, we did have to move that inside and my next day back, I'm gonna get that back out in the hallway. We used that hallway for the movie.
Right, is it wired to be plugged in now?
Yeah, all the
Oh,
outlets
okay.
are in, all this, yeah, JC Electric's work is complete as far as I know. And they came back and they called and they're gonna come back and just check a couple motion sensors and fine tune some things.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Is there any other discussion first? Ben has a motion to approve. Can I have a second?
Second,
Tammy,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Marty.
yes.
Okay, moving on to legislation. Ordinance 2020-41, an ordinance appropriating funds to run the Village of Manaway during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021, and declaring an emergency. This is on the table. Would someone make a motion to take it off the table, please?
So moved.
Second.
Scott,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
Open for discussion?
I did want to mention one more thing. In the original first reading, let me see the number, on cemetery, let's see. We had 5,000? Sorry, I don't have it right to the right page yet. But we had to reduce the cemetery wages, otherwise the fund would have bounced. So originally it was $6,000 and I'd like to propose dropping that down to 4,500.
Why?
So the fund doesn't bounce.
Are you taking that money from someplace else? I mean, putting it someplace else?
Well, we do have a backup cemetery wage fund in the general fund that we can move it to that.
Well, instead of moving it to that, why not just leave it there then?
Well, no, we wouldn't move it. We would just pay people out of the general fund cemetery wages when the other one runs out, which is what we do anyway. We'll just run out sooner.
So then that means we just have 4 changes to make then. The only ones that I can recall is increasing parks to $3,000 for water and sewer bills. The $25,000 that is being loaned, or whatever your correct term is, Jenny, from general fund for parks improvement, so we can finish Bookert Park Phase 2. And then the $387,000 that was in the wrong line item that you had to remove from the report. Correct?
And all the things on that list that we didn't go line item by line item, but I proposed amendments to everyone before the workshop. So those should be included. That's removing water and sewer and everything. That's why I itemized it
I
in
see.
the,
Okay, anyone have any questions on this? Scott, any questions on the budget? Tammy,
Do
No.
not.
Marty, Matt, Paula?
Jenny, are you saying that based, looking at the special council meeting minutes, where you have outlined what changes we'd agreed to during the special meeting, that we need to go line by line now and make the amendment, or we already did that?
No, when we had our special meeting, I provided everybody with the list. We
Okay,
never discussed it, but that was also included. And then when I sent the amended version, I included those changes. But we
Okay,
didn't
so-
go line item by line item. We only kind of skipped around and talked about a few things. So I guess you would probably want to amend everything, including those changes. Otherwise, we still have a water and sewer fund.
unfortunately, the only list I have in front of me right now, Jenny, and I apologize if I'm missing one, is the special council minutes.
And that,
And-
that does list all the changes.
Okay,
except
so we
for-
should go by this listing and recommend the appropriations be changed according to this.
to this list, and also the cemetery wages that we just discussed, where we
Okay.
would reduce the wages from 6,000 to 4,500.
All right, so that goes under cemetery operations.
Yes.
We don't have any rollover money left in the cemetery this year that we don't have to reduce that?
Well, we'll know at the end of the year, but I'm not sure. I mean, there might be, but we didn't budget for it when we turned in our budget to the county. So if we turn in the appropriations more than we budgeted for, that would bounce. And we could look at it after we do our first amendment and then amend it at that time.
So what we're doing at this point is making the amendments so that we can go ahead and accept our ordinance 2020-41 and forward it on to the county for their processing.
That's
Yes.
correct.
Okay, so if nobody, do we want to read off each of these, like the general
No.
fund, park operating?
No, we don't need to do that. We change this thing and change the appropriations all through the year, every year. All through the year, we make different changes in it.
That's
And
correct,
We'll
Ben.
do that all year long.
You are correct that we do that all year round. Now we have to make a motion to approve these changes that we have before us that
I
Jenny
agree.
printed out.
I agree. We need to make an amendment.
So now we need to find out, do we need to do these line by line?
Or can we just reference them based on as the write-up contained in the special council meeting minutes?
That's why
Michelle,
we did a
can you
special
help us?
council meeting.
The special meeting, we were not allowed to amend anything. It was only discussion.
Well, we could have.
I think the best way to handle it would just be to read the lines that are being changed into the record under a motion to amend the exhibit. So it should only be 4 numbers, right?
No, there's a full page.
Oh, okay. So just read them off and
Okay. Jenny, would you read them off for us?
Sure. General fund, park operating, increase wages to 20,000, which will pay 1 part-time employee. The benefits, we're going to decrease OPERS to 3,000, decrease Medicare to 400, reduce medical benefits to 0 since Mary Ann's will come out of the village administrator's budget, reduce uniforms to $200 for 1 part-time employee. Park operating, add 3,000. This will be enough to cover the ball field, water hydrants, the park lodge, and the old water plant used by the Potato Festival. The general fund village administrator, we're going to increase the village administrator's wages to 40,000 because that was split out with water and sewer and streets and all that. We're going to increase the village administrator's staff wages to 33,500. That's for Mary Ann. Benefits, we're going to increase OPERS to 10,500, increase Medicare to 1,100, increase workers' compensation to 800, increase unemployment to 1,500, add medical benefits of 14,000, that's for Mary Ann, add 400 for training and conferences. General fund tree care, we're going to increase wages to 20,000, which covers one part-time employee. Benefits will reduce OPERS to 3,000, Medicare reduced to 400, and add uniforms of 200. General fund clerk treasurer, reduce medical to 9,000. General fund village hall will add water of 3,000. General fund income tax, remove the software support of 3,000. General fund miscellaneous, advances out increased to 25,000 for the Bookert Trail. Transfers out reduced to 12,000. Total expenditures becomes $1,046 or $46,475. In streets, we're going to increase wages to 80,000 for Dave and Vern. Benefits, we're going to increase OPERS to 11,200, increase Medicare to 1,160, decrease medical to 15,000, increase uniforms to 800. Streets total expenditures then becomes 146,135. Road and Bridge Levy Fund, we're going to add Canada Road paving project in the amount of 80,000. We may only use half, but we'll have it appropriated. Increase West Prospect Street local match to 150,000. For some reason, we had it 140, so that's more of a correction. Total expenditures become 233,760. Increase road and bridge revenues to 75,000. Cemetery fund, we're going to add water in the amount of 975. Reduce wages from 6,000 to 4,500. Bookert Park Trail Phase 2, add land improvements of 25,000, add state reimbursements of 18,281. We're going to remove water operating, sewer operating, all water and sewer respective debt funds, water capital improvement fund, and remove sewer capital improvement fund. And the last page of the working papers, the total fund expenditures become 1,955,930. Total revenues become 1,790,092.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept all of these changes and realize that a lot of these changes are due to the transfer of the plants, the sewer and water plants to the county.
I'll second.
Scott,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
Okay, now that you changed, Michelle, now that you've changed the heading on this and declaring it an emergency, do I still have to ask for a motion to suspend the rules?
No, you don't have to suspend the rules, but someone does need to make a motion to amend section 4 to make it an emergency so that it is effective January 1st, since it's only 2 weeks from now.
Second, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Tammy,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Okay, so that was 2 amendments, amending it the first time, amending it for the section
Emergency.
4.
Yeah.
So motion to approve,
So moved.
Second.
Marty,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Ben.
Yes.
okay, moving on to, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought somebody said something. Resolution 2020-42, a resolution authorizing certain fund transfer by the clerk treasurer between the water and sewer operating funds and their respective debt service reserve funds necessary to meet the 2021 debt service requirements. We had voted on this last month and I said motion to vote instead of motion to approve. We want to vote this down, but I have to say the correct language, so we have to redo this one. Could I have a motion to approve resolution 2020-42?
So moved.
We have
And
to vote
everybody wants
that
to vote
down. We
no.
don't have the money to do it.
Everybody has to vote no on this. That's just
Right.
like we did last month.
Who
Right.
seconded?
I'll second.
Paula,
No.
Tammy,
No.
Matt,
No.
Marty,
No,
Scott,
No.
Ben.
No,
Thank you. Now that one's straightened out. Moving on to ordinance 2020-49, an ordinance amending section 450.07 of zoning ordinances of the Village of Manaway related to illumination of signs. This is the third reading. Motion to approve.
So moved.
second,
Marty,
yes,
Matt,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ben,
yes,
Paula.
Yes.
Moving on to 2020-50, an ordinance amending various sections of chapter 480 of the zoning ordinances of the Village of Manaway relating to exterior property maintenance. This is the third reading. Any discussion? Motion to approve.
So moved.
second,
Tammy,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Ben,
yes,
Marty.
yes,
Moving on to, excuse me. Ordinance 2020-51, an ordinance amending sections 15905 and 15909 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Manaway relating to a quorum, minutes, and activity reports of the Historic Landmark Commission. This is third meeting. Any discussion?
Just so I'm clear, right now, it just says a simple majority. So if there's 3 people there, that's a quorum, right? So what we're saying here is that we need at least 4 people present in order for it to be a quorum, correct?
Correct.
Okay, what happens if
I
there's a tie?
thought it was that the planning has determined that the board have 7 members on it. And
Correct.
based on 7 members on the board, that the quorum has to be 4.
Correct.
So if the landmarks committee only has 5 people on it,
They still have to have,
4 of them have to be in attendance to be a quorum instead
four
of
still
like
have to be
3.
in attendance.
Yes.
It's a 7-member committee, correct, Paula?
And at one point, a couple years ago, they had requested having it reduced from 7 members to 5. And at that point, planning didn't want to take it up, I think, the way it went.
That's
So
correct.
I do object to this one, but let's vote on it.
So just one more quick thing. The presence of 4 members shall constitute a quorum. The concurring vote of 4 members of commission shall be necessary for all official actions. So if only 4 people are on the committee, you need all 4 people to say yes in order to move anything forward.
no, you just need a quorum of the 4 people.
No, you need a quorum of the 7 people that are supposed to be on the committee.
I
So-
don't believe that's so if you don't have 7 people. If you only have 4 people, you need a quorum of 4 people. If you got 5, you need a quorum of 5. If you don't have 7 people on there and you only got 5 people or 4 people, why do you need a quorum of 7? I just disagree.
I didn't say you had to have a quorum of 7. The committee requires 7 people. If they only have 5 people serving, or if they only have 4 people serving. They still have to have 4 people at a meeting to vote.
I
Yeah.
don't agree with that.
I agree with it as long as it's on a 7-person committee.
A quorum is a quorum. You can ask the solicitor the definition of what. If you only got 4 people on there, what's a quorum of 4? If you only
Okay,
got,
Ben,
if you
Ben,
got
I've already
5, what's the
explained that.
quorum of 5? If
Ben?
you got a requirement for 7, you only got 4 people, what is the quorum? I mean, call it
Ben,
like you see it. You can call it like you see it.
well, you need to read the legislation.
No,
And-
we're talking about a quorum. If we're talking about
We're
a quorum,
talking about a quorum out of a committee that is required to have 7 members.
if you don't have 7 members, what kind of quorum can you have?
Then you still have to, according to this new legislation, it has to have at least 4 members present at a meeting.
That's fine.
Well,
That's fine. I'm not going to discuss it any further.
Do you guys want something from me?
yes,
Okay, a quorum is whatever is how you define it. And there's 2 ways. In this legislation, a quorum has to be 4 people and 4 concurring votes have to be voted to move anything forward. I will say that this language echoes the language in both the Planning Commission legislation and the Board of Zoning Appeals legislation, which states that, because those are 5-person boards, that 3 people have to be present to constitute a quorum, and the concurring vote of 3 people is what is required to take any formal action. So for instance, if Planning Commission only had 3 people on it because there were 2 vacancies, you'd still need 3 people to have a quorum, and you'd still need 3 concurring votes because that's what our legislation states. So this is basically echoing that only for a 7-person committee rather than a 5-person committee. Hopefully that helps.
I think as long as it's written in stone that it's a 7-person committee, we should have 4 people constituting a quorum. Now, if you wanted to bring something forward that was reducing it to 5, then it knock it down to 3 kind of thing. But,
And that's what had been recommended at one point by the committee.
yeah. And then
And
my thought is,
that's where we have a problem.
yeah. And it's just me thinking out loud here. There's 11,000 people or so in the township and then 1,000 people in the village. We should be able to find 7 people to fill this committee,
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. We need outreach, community outreach.
okay, any other discussion? Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Ben,
No,
Tammy,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Paula,
No,
Matt,
Yes.
Marty,
yes,
Okay, moving on. Ordinance 2020-54, and ordinance amending ordinance 2019-49. The Village of Manaway and Portage County and Water and Sanitary Sewer Systems Transfer Agreement and declaring an emergency. Open for discussion.
So this is us officially entering into the agreement with the county right here.
That's correct. Well, after we make the amendments to 2019-49 that we had told the residents we would make if it passed.
Okay, understood. Okay, so this is something that was overwhelmingly approved by the residents, right?
Correct,
So we're voting on the will of the people here.
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm just making sure everybody understands that.
When,
Right.
yeah, as soon as we're done making the amendment. So we have to make the amendment. So we need to amend this legislation, section 2, to include F and N. Exhibit A. Let me try and find it here. Michelle, can you bring it up? Because
List of appendices to include Appendix T.
correct, but I wanted to bring it up for everybody to see the section. And right now I can't find my page.
So you're looking for the specific terminology that came out
Correct. So everybody
from
can see.
Michelle earlier today.
Yes, Michelle sent it earlier today.
Hey, what is this? Oh, I see.
Okay, so Michelle had sent this earlier today. Where we're adding, excuse me, F and N and T on the cover page and changing it to January 4th, 2021.
What am I doing? And then
I was trying to find R, Michelle.
R, well, we have to also change
Well, yeah, stop at this. I needed 6.3.
6.3.1
Yes,
to add actual initial ESU and initial surcharge
Yes.
rate to be used on closing date of transfer agreement is set forth in Appendix R.
right. Go back to that though, Michelle, because I want to make sure everybody sees that the surcharge for somebody that has both water and sewer for one ESU is 59.25.
No, it's not. These are not the numbers that are final.
Oh, okay, sorry.
These are these are the estimate for water customers, estimate for sewer customers, combined estimate. Actual initial
Is in
are
R.
set forth in Appendix R.
So it's $64.56.
Correct.
Thank you, Tammy.
So,
Which my issue is when the county was talked to the, everybody, they said, oh, it'll probably go down, and here we're raising it, over $5 a month. I just want to make sure that's on record that we're not sliding something by the residents.
Well, last year it was 87.61.
Correct.
So it was reduced to, we thought it would be around 60. So you're correct. It's higher than we were guesstimating at being 64. You are correct there.
That's not the impression that they gave us when we had that committee meeting, that they thought it would be less. So I just want to make sure that no one comes back to us and says, oh, you passed, this went by and it didn't say
Right.
anything.
I can address that, Mayor.
I'm sorry.
I can address that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Tammy's question. So when it was very clear to the committee from the county that the 59 1/4 that is listed here was without doing any type of survey of the buildings. It was merely a guess based upon looking at the accounts. Tia did the best she could. It was clear to all of us that that was the around where the initial starting point would be. This is not an increase. It was merely an estimate, not based upon the actual building survey. Right now, for instance, on water, when you look at Appendix R, The water is the one that went up the $4 and change or whatever it was, based upon the reduction in the number of ESUs than was originally really ballparked. So again, if that helps any, nothing has changed from the beginning. It was just merely where is this going to be? And that was based upon a limited knowledge of data that the county had based upon the building types and accounts. So the number originally for water was over 760 units. If you look at Appendix R, it's a 100 ESUs less. So that's, and sanitary also was a reduction in ESUs as well from the original guesstimate. So if that helps. Thanks, Mayor.
I'm not sure that we've, how has the identified needs list been addressed? Appendix J and Appendix I. Wait a minute, is it I? Treatment. Because, you know, there have been some of them that have been completed. And has that been, and at this point, I don't see the reference that anything has been addressed there. And I know there's a lot going on, but.
They did make significant changes to the needs list based on pay down of debt. They changed numbers on the reservoir rehabilitation project. They did not change numbers on the meter replacement project because even though the bid came in lower, we also had that 5/8 inch bunch of 5/8 inch meters that we're going to have to pay for as a contingency. So they just wanted to leave that one as it was and have it come out in next year's figures. So there are quite a few changes to the appendix, and it brings the overall needs list number down to 11,626,000, if I remember correctly, from what it used to be, which was over 12 million. So it has come down a little bit. It's just not really enough to make a significant difference when the ESUs have also come down from what our initial estimate was.
That's correct, Michelle. I kind of did a quick analysis just this evening. The reduction in the water and sewer identified needs is over $500,000, and it was not offset due to the reduction in the actual ESUs discovered from the survey.
Thanks, Rich.
I got a comment, if it's all right with everybody. I understand that there's going to be a minimum charge of about 400 cubic meters per person. I only use about 200 to 240, and I don't believe I should have to pay for 160 to 200 more than I use. That's my comment. I'm not going to dwell on it. Everybody's going to have a minimum charge of like 400 cubic meters.
I don't use
feet.
that much.
I don't think half the people in this village use that much. And I don't think we should be charged for what we do. I think we should be charged for what we do. We're obligated to do that. But I don't think we should have to pay for what we don't do.
Okay.
But
I understand.
I'm not going to dwell on it anymore.
Well, let me explain. Right now, the county, as county customers, are the whole county, all 13,000 of their customers are billed 500 cubic feet of water and sewer a month for $65. That pays for the water and sewer. It also goes into capital improvement and to pay for the employees that are maintaining the water and sewer systems for the whole county.
I don't care about that. I don't mind paying for what I do. I don't think I should have to pay for something I don't do.
Well,
So I disagree with that. So, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I won't say another word about it.
And let's accept his comment and move forward.
Let's
Thank
do that.
Okay, where were we on making the
Double
amendment?
mine.
I'm sorry, did I overtalk somebody again? Okay, Michelle, where were we on the amendments?
Okay, we just finished listing that we're amending section 2 to include F and N as appendices that are in the exhibit B. Amending the cover page to include the reference to appendix T. Next page, January 4th, 2021 at 8 a.m. and to add the language noted in blue, 6.3.1 and 6.3.2 relating to the initial surcharge being set forth in appendix R. If somebody would make that motion.
I'll
So
make that.
moved.
motion.
I'll second.
Tammy,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes,
Paula,
Yes,
Matt,
Yes,
Ben,
No,
Scott.
Yes.
Okay. So we've amended it. Motion to suspend the rules, or this is already written as an emergency, Michelle, correct?
Still have to suspend the rules to pass it on first
Suspend
reading.
the rules, please.
I'll
Do we
make the
need
motion
to
to suspend the rules.
make any changes because exhibit B has been completed? And
You don't
sent-
have to amend anything. I apologize for it not being completed sooner. Believe it or not, you believe it. The county and I were working on this well up until this very morning. So I'm sorry that I couldn't get it to you sooner, but we just had a few last things to hammer out. But now that you've got it, that is exhibit B as is.
Okay,
I'll second.
I'm sorry, who first?
Matt did.
I did.
Okay. Ben,
no,
Scott,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes,
Tammy,
Yes.
Paula,
yes,
Marty.
yes,
Motion to approve.
So moved.
second.
Matt,
Yes,
Tammy,
Yes.
Marty,
yes,
Ben,
no,
Paula,
yes,
Scott.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to resolution 2020-55, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the clerk treasurer to prepare and submit application materials to the Ohio Public Works Commission for the Northeast Quadrant Water Line Replacement Project Phase 1 to execute further agreements as required and declaring an emergency. This application is due on December 23rd, I'm sorry. We had applied for the original OPWC. They want us to apply for two different things, which we are doing, and that is the small government funding. And Rich, what is the
LTIP,
LTIP? Thank you. On this project, it was, if I recall,
$271,200.
thank you,
Mm-hmm.
with a match of 53,000, somewhere in that area.
54,000.
Okay, sorry. Is there any other discussion on it? Now, what happens is we have to apply for it because when the application is due, the water and sewer are still in our name. And then after the first of the year, we have spoken with Abby DeHart and everything can be transferred to the county at that time. Any other discussion? Did I forget to explain anything? Jenny, you got all your stuff? Michelle, am I forgetting anything? Rich?
Nope, that's it. The county will have the discretion at what's called the cure period. If the council will recall, on Prospect Street, we had a cure period to adjust the small government funding to get more points. And in this case, we fell just like a point below the line, but we didn't take any loan. The county could take a loan and easily get this first phase funded. Easily be funded. Points will take us well over the mark.
Thank you, Rich.
Rich, this is the Glenwood Grand Elm.
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
And 44.
And 44.
And a little piece of 44, right?
Okay.
Any other discussion or questions?
These are all substandard, very small, 4-inch diameter, asbestos cement, cast iron lines that, surprised, they're still around today. They're 65 to 70 years old. Actually, they're not the oldest water lines in the village, but
Right.
at least they're older than me.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have guessed that, but
Hey,
I'm kidding.
Okay, motion to suspend the rules.
So I'll make a motion.
Second.
Ben,
No,
Marty,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Scott,
Yes.
Ben,
no,
Matt,
Yes.
Paula,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Okay, moving on to resolution 2020-56, a resolution accepting the low bid of $367,460,000 for the Woodford Excavating LLC for the West Prospect Street roadway and drainage improvement Phase 2, authorizing the mayor and clerk treasurer of the village of Manaway to enter into a contract for said improvements and declaring an emergency. We'll open this for discussion, and we also have to read all the bids out loud, so give me a second to find that page.
Mayor, I could share screen with those numbers right now.
Sure, go ahead and bring them up so they can see them and I'll read them.
One question. This is just doing the paving, the curbs, storm sewers. There's no sanitary sewers or water lines involved in this, correct?
There's no water lines that I'm aware of, Paula.
No.
There may be some sanitary repair replacement that will be minimal.
Correct.
And we're going to carry that, I guess.
Yes, this is your project.
Mr. True, do you have any experience working with Woodford Excavating?
Yes, I've used them before, and so has CT on several occasions.
Yeah.
Good contractor.
Good contractor?
Yes.
Yes, Matt, as a matter of fact, and our company's done at least a half a dozen projects in the last 2-3 years, but I haven't met them, so I elected to have a pre-award meeting. So before issuing this letter reviewing their qualifications, I held a pre-award meeting with Mr. Woodford himself, as well as the project manager. They were quite comfortable with the bid. The reason I held it is because of the low bid, over $100,000 less than our estimate. But they got a plan. They know how to tackle the project. The only thing I wanted they asked to bring up, in the contract documents we issued, I indicated that work will not, and I know I've reported this to council, work would not begin until March 15th, the weather permitting. They would like the option to begin in the winter if weather permits. And I said, well, I'll run that by the mayor and council, but that was their request. Again, residential streets, you don't know how the weather's going to hit in the winter, plates and whatnot to deal with in the winter while they're plowing streets. But that's what they've asked for, but that depends, maybe weather dependent, but you never know when snow hits. It looks good 1 month and then it hits. Not something you need to answer this evening. Just want to let you know they're quite comfortable starting in March 15th. That's our because that's in the contract documents.
Yeah. I've always been a little funny about pouring concrete in the wintertime.
Well, they wouldn't do that part of the work.
Okay, gotcha.
This would be the storm sewer, the excavation,
All that stuff. Okay, cool.
putting the underground stuff in.
Right on.
How much with the excavation of the storm sewers, is that going to impact the roadway? And how
It
much will we have to close it down during, and then you extend it?
The documents require a lane open, maintain traffic, but even excavation, just truck traffic alone on the older part of Prospect will mess it up.
Okay, but you say at this point, we're just accepting the bid.
Yes.
And at a future date time, it will be brought up whether we allow them to start earlier than March.
Yes, Paula, I would probably,
That's
if
the
the village
main
awards,
thing, and I'll hold off on that then.
yeah, if the village awards the contract this evening, we would have a pre-construction meeting after the holidays and just discuss that with the mayor and John.
And does that mean you discuss it with council as well?
I presume so. If that's the mayor wishes, absolutely.
But at this time, Paula, the start date is March 15th.
Correct.
Okay, that's what we're going, that's what we're accepting. Okay,
Correct.
very good.
Yes. Okay, well, Rich, since you're on a roll, I'm gonna let you go ahead and read all 15 of these.
So the beginning from highest to low. So NES Corporation bid was actually slightly off. Yeah, the column slightly off from their informal bid, $509,986. And NES completed the project at Orchard Street for us. And I thought they did a very good job. Eclipse is who did the other part of Prospect Street, $485,799.33. JS Bova Excavating, $483,766. Carvel Companies, $472,919. Trimore Corporation, good contractor, $472,323. RJ Platten Contracting Company, $459,459.20. SET Incorporated, we have a lot of experience with them, $449,187.30. Chagrin Valley Paving, eighth lowest, $448,759. This is where we have a lot of bids come in very close. Utility Contracting, Inc., $446,647. They had a mistake, math error from their informal total that reduced their informal bid down. Trax Construction Company, $439,555. M. Campbell Contracting, LLC, $425,837.50. Katz Construction, Inc., $416,781.40. Central Allied Enterprises, Inc., $416,152. Matt Winters Excavating, LLC, $413,442.65. And the low bid, Woodford Excavating, LLC, at $367,460. Engineer's estimate was $480,000.
Rich, should we be at all concerned that NES and Eclipse are 14 and 15 and they've worked on our roads and know what they're getting into?
No,
I mean, okay.
no. They're busy. They've got work. Yeah. It's not, it's definitely not a reflection. I know those folks, Gary at NES, no, they're, yeah.
Okay, council, any other questions or discussion on this?
Not for me.
Nope.
No,
Okay, again, because we need to get this rolling, if I could have a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
I'll second.
Ben,
yes,
Matt,
Yes.
Marty,
yes,
Paula,
Yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Tammy.
Yes,
Motion to approve.
So moved.
second,
Matt,
Yes.
Ben,
yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Paula,
yes,
Tammy,
yes,
Marty.
yes,
Thank you. Moving on to resolution 2020-57. A resolution authorizing the Portage County Auditor's Office to disperse delinquent water and sewer assessments collected via real property tax payments to Portage County Water and Resources and declaring an emergency. What this is over the years, whenever we've assessed someone's taxes to the county and then they pay us semi-annually through the tax payments, we need to make sure that all that goes to the county, so it helps pay down our debt. And so, as you can see, this is all from different years. So any discussion on this? Motion to suspend the rules?
so moved,
Second.
Ben,
yes,
Marty,
yes,
Matt,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Paula,
yes,
Tammy.
yes,
Motion to approve?
So
so
moved.
moved, second,
Marty,
yes,
Tammy,
yes,
Matt,
Yes.
Paula,
yes,
Ben,
yes,
Scott.
Yes.
Okay, moving on with our legislation. Are we done with legislation? Chiefers?
I'm sorry, Mayor, was that me? You cut out.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, nope. Good evening, Mayor, Council, everybody. We did not have a safety meeting this month. A couple things real quick. Our SRO, Patrolman Dunn, he's going to be working with Crestwood Schools this year on December 22nd. They're doing a meal distribution like they did last year for Christmas to try to help some families in need. And last year they served over 500 families in the area. So that number was pretty impressive. Working with Portage County EMA, they're doing a final PPE push for this year. That should get us through the winter and then hopefully into the springtime. As we mentioned earlier, JC Electric, they did do their work. They're just going to come out. And they may have already done that, do some final adjustments on the motion sensors. That project's completing. I'll let John talk about the Harner Plumbing project. The movie has finished up. They finished up last week in the village. Our next safety meeting will be tentatively scheduled right now for Wednesday, January 6th. Everybody's asking about COVID cases. The only thing I can say is we have approximately 7 cases in the village. So we still encourage everybody to hand sanitize, social distance, just keep doing what we're doing. One final thing, just thoughts and prayers. I'm sure you've heard by now, we had a pretty bad accident out in our area that our fire district responded to on Sunday. 3 fatals, 21 and then 2 14-year-olds. There's a couple critical cases still in that, but just a horrific crash out on Peck Road. But other than that, the only thing I can say is thoughts and prayers for them. It's a bad time of year. Any accident involving children's a rough one for the crews. Our dispatchers included, and they did a fine job. We had life flight and it was just a whole busy afternoon, but try to just keep thoughts and prayers with those folks. And then if I don't see anybody, hope everybody, guess we can do the best we can to try to have a happy holiday season and get through to January. That's all that I have, Mayor.
Thank you. John True. John,
Yes, my report will be brief. Been working with the DNG on a bunch of things in the back end. Go ahead, man. Say something else?
No,
And I've been working with them and also had that contact today from, and then Ray Schwartz, we've seen some information today, so I'll be working on that. Tia and Gene with the Schwartz to get the rest of the meters installed also. And that's it for now, so I can get.
okay. CT Consultants.
Yeah, my good evening, Mayor and Council. Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, my written report, and we covered the Ohio Public Works, the 2 applications we are filing. Just a point of information, I need the certified legislation to complete the application. So if I could get a copy of that. And then we covered the Prospect Street contract award. In the process, we're still attending meetings with the county in coordinating the transfer of documents and other associated project work. One of them is our current design for the replacement of the reservoir. So as I understand it, your final services rendered to the village directly is this month. And then the county, and that, assuming the county wants us to complete the work, or I talked to Gene, then we will be engaged with the county to complete design and manage the construction. Of course, by and through myself and Gene will obviously keep the village as informed. I'm sure the county will too, but since we expect to be the engineer of record on that, you'll have firsthand knowledge of how that's going forward. And then I know there was a final site plan and review notes from Dollar General. They've been very responsive to any of the outstanding comments that Gene generated on the reviews. That's all I had. Mayor, unless there are any questions, wish a happy holidays to everyone.
Thanks, Rich, you as well.
Yep.
Thank you, Rich.
Okay.
Scott Weaver for Service and Planning.
Service, what did we do? Oh, we discussed our meters. The county's going to take over the meter process now, so we don't have to worry about it. Canada Road. We spent a lot of time talking about Canada Road. We decided that we want to try and get some bids, get some prices come this winter. And I think how we left it is after the first of the year, weren't we going to make sure that we can certify the funds, make sure Jenny's got the funds that we think we do to take care of 3,200 feet instead of 1,600 feet. So I think that's going to be an ongoing thing this winter. correct me if I was wrong with that, Linda, but wasn't that what
We decided that we would, after the first of the year, meaning like towards the end of February, when
right.
everything is settled down and
Yeah. And then we'll reevaluate how far we can go, but we're hoping to try and do 3,200 feet of that. We discussed Dan Tillett's property. We were looking into, or he was looking into some, well, we were all looking into some state government funds, the CDBG funding. We had some paperwork on that. We were going through, looking at that.
state bond funding also.
Yes, the CDBG, yeah.
They're two different things.
Community Development Block Grant.
Oh, the state, yeah, I'm sorry, Linda, the state bond government funding, yeah. And then the Potato Festival, we were kind of put that off for now. We'll probably attack that after the first of the year, but we need to get a new contract with them by March. Their last contract was in 2011, so we kind of need to take care of that. And then planning, we spent a lot of time talking about the old Middlefield Bank and the FEMA funding, the FEMA grant. Tom Van Auken had come to us looking for some help maybe to get that building taken down. And so we spent a lot of time trying to hash that out, which is going to be an ongoing project for a while on our end too. Just looking into some other stuff. We reviewed a lot of legislation, everything we passed today, 49, 50, and 51. Oh, sidewalks. We were discussing sidewalks. That's something else we need to make a list of. We're going to get started on this winter, I think, what we can see. Well, we don't have snow, but we need to try to get together with the repairs or sidewalk repairs starting in April if we can. And I think that was about it. We had some zoning and maintenance issues that John, we've had ongoing with some residents that John's been handling. So other than that, that's it.
Okay. Two things before we move on to parks. We had talked about the water and sewer at the park, that we were thinking about if we have to put in a meter for the Potato Festival, that they would have to pay for their water and, well, theirs would just be water and a surcharge. After our meeting last Wednesday, was it, Matt, with the county? The county is recommending that we see what it would take for us to only have one meter at the park. So I spoke with Dave today. So that would just be one water and sewer bill and one surcharge for the whole park area, both sides of the street. I spoke with Dave briefly about it. He's going to get with John. I don't know if he probably didn't have a chance to talk with you about it yet, John, as far as what it would cost to run some pipe, couple 100 feet of 1-inch pipe to connect all those to the lateral, still be able to have shutoffs for each of the ball field, a shutoff for Katie's Meadows area where the Potato Festival is. And so he's going to do that. Matt did some quick calculations today when we were figuring water for 3 of those places and water and sewer year round for the lodge. And Matt, what did you throw together real quick? Did you keep any of that?
I think it ended up being like 60,000 because the number I came up with had sewers for everything. Then we knocked the sewers off, and I think it was like 60 or 70 grand. I'll have to crunch the numbers again, but
so it'd be cheaper for us to spend a few $1,000s now to do this versus paying for 4 meters down there, and a surcharge, even if it's just for water, on 3 of those, 12 months a year for perpetuity on that. So Dave's supposed to be getting me that price, so we would just reduce that. That would greatly reduce that area by removing 3 of the meters, or not even putting them in, but changing the lines and stuff a little bit. And that is not replacing the lines at the festival. This is just the laterals to get it where we need it to be.
I'm all for spending
Did
money
everybody
now.
kind of understand that? John, can you explain that better? Or?
Yeah, just have to get the estimate, see how much that will cost us to do versus the other. Yeah, T and I did have a discussion too
Okay.
last Saturday. We talked about that. For us to just do 1 meter down there.
So that would greatly reduce our least surcharge at the park by reducing down to 1 meter versus 4. Okay, sorry I cut in on Scott and Marty's time, but I thought I better bring it up while I was.
Oh, no, I'm glad you did. Good.
Okay, so Marty, Parks and Shade Tree.
So for parks, we had a meeting. The MRC was there. We went over their list of things to do and then notified them that we were not taking on another project until projects that we have now are completed.
You're fading out, Marty.
How could I fade out?
I don't know. All of a sudden you were there and then I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I don't know. I said that we had a meeting and the MRC was there and we went over all of the items on their list and informed them that we were not taking on any more projects until the ones that we had going now were completed and paid for. And then we discussed not having a meeting this
Until March.
month.
Till March.
Till March.
Yeah. And Shade Tree, basically what we talked about was to make sure that Mary Ann had all the information she needed to continue being a tree city. And we also decided not to have meetings for Shade Tree. And that's about it. Unless I forgot something.
No, that was it, Marty.
Okay, and just for clarification's sake, we were jumping back. So when we redo the Potato Festival's contract, they wouldn't be, I don't think that Service is interested in charging them for water or having them pay a surcharge for those few days that they do it. But as far as replacing possibly the lines and putting the electrical underground, that's still up for discussion, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Oh, okay. Cemetery. Gonna be, haven't set it up yet, a Zoom meeting with the cemetery board to work on the flowers and what other projects they might want to see if they're amendable to asking the trust to pay the water bill and the surcharge at the cemetery from now on, if that's amendable to, well, cemetery board has to amend it to, or bring it to council, so, but that's what we were thinking, and any other projects that we think might need done. Board of Zoning Appeals, let's see, we just finished up with the Dollar General. All 4 of their variances have been approved, and the vet clinic is still in a recess until they I think they have to fill out a zoning application for non-conformance, I think, is where that was at. And also, we're still working on a site. We have a second site plan with the Dollar General and all the changes that they have agreed to make there. Jumping back to the vet clinic, I finally heard back from Ellen, Dr. Imhoff. I did share one email with everyone that we got from one of the businesses that use that aquamation system. Just got the other information for that gentleman. I have not had a chance to call him yet. I've had some other things going on that I just didn't have time to do that. I will try to do that tomorrow or Thursday. And then we'll see where the vet clinic goes from, as for, like I say, they are in recess right now till we get some information straightened around. Was there anything else on that, Scott or John?
No,
Okay, that's all I could remember. Okay, Ben, finance?
Jenny went over to finances, so there's nothing else to do there, but the only other thing we did, we went over to legislation, which we've done here, so that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Paula, regional planning and safety?
For Portage County Regional Planning, there is nothing out of the ordinary going on there. Just reviewing lot splits, lots. And again, as Chief said, safety didn't occur. That's all.
Okay, any other new or anything, any other business?
I would like to mention on this area that I have heard from a few non-relative residents who were concerned about a Dollar General coming into the village of Manaway. And was that really necessary? And especially with the other two, the Shalersville and the one at the corner so close. And their concern is that it would take away from some of the current businesses that are trying to get started within the village, as well as the appearance would be kind of contrary to what we're aiming for in the village. So those were some of the concerns of residents. So on that basis, Scott, how is the planning moving forward on the appearance? Have you started to address any of that?
oh yeah, we've addressed a lot of it, and they've been very accommodating.
Okay, so if we listen to the planning meetings, that will clear things up?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty
And
much.
they're even not doing an illuminated sign.
Yeah.
Even though legislation hasn't
We're gonna-
passed.
If you can get a chance to look at their drawings, you know, especially the elevations, they've tried to work with us. They totally understood our problem with the signs, and they're gonna light it with pendant lights, just like, you know, overhead lights. I mean, they've worked with us quite a bit. I think they knew that they had to, or it wasn't gonna happen. I mean, we had a lot of rules and regulations also. And well, CT did. I mean, CT gave us a list. I mean, they were, yeah, they.
How many did you have, Gene? Gene had
Yeah.
how many? 50 something?
Yeah, there was quite, yeah, they had quite the list that we needed to go through. And so when we had our personal Zoom meeting with them, I mean, they zoomed in with us, and yeah, they were pretty accommodating. So, and if there's more concerns, we'll address them. I mean, we can address them with them, you know, I mean, they seem pretty anxious to work this out. So,
Yeah.
The most
well, I think-
significant, if I could add, was flipping the building in its entirety.
yeah, exactly.
They flipped it because I said, you're not gonna put that driveway on a state route
Exactly.
less than 150 feet away from Orchard. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yes, they're not putting up an aluminum building. It's not going to be like the Napa store. It's going to have brick facade, brick lower part, and then it's going to have clapboard siding on 3 sides.
Okay,
And then it's going to have the letters Dollar General with downlighting on it,
Yeah.
on the building.
and the other question that some people have raised is they don't want it to be like the Manaway Center where they are allowed to put things out in front. Have we addressed that issue?
No, we haven't, because we just received an email from Ellie Stom today and from Edie Benner asking those, and they have been sent to the Planning Commission.
Mhm.
Well, I know that in the
Told that they
past,
could look on the website to see the new plans. But no, that's something new that has just come up. That, the trash, let me see if I can find the email. For
The
some,
trash, I thought we addressed the dumpster.
yeah, let me
Yeah,
find.
we addressed that. We've got that out of the way, and yeah, there's been a lot of things that they've addressed, that we've
Okay.
addressed with them, that they've
well,
changed.
good, because one of the things with the items in the front of the store
Yeah,
on display has arisen other times, and I've even heard it from Shalersville people and from the Manaway Village people saying, you know, we tried to work real hard with them, but it was after the fact, and so they didn't get any cooperation. So I
okay,
just want to make sure that we're
They've
addressing
been
that.
Very accommodating. We will share these with them tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number 1 was that the exterior walls are brick and possibly that the siding that they propose looks like wood. That they are not allowed to store junk products outside during the day. That they are not allowed to have an internally illuminated sign. That's been taken care of. That the signage out by the road must not be higher than 5 or 6 feet tall. With no more poles, signs, okay. That the signage is buffered by having landscaping around it, maybe a brick planter. Please take a look at the lighting that lines the streets and the parking lot, that they're recommending or requesting, I'm sorry, they're requesting that they use historic lighting poles. Something like a Euclid design, and that landscaping, that they've noticed that they plant the grass and put, not this Dollar General, but other ones, plant landscaping, but then they never mow it and never weed their shrubs. So we will make sure that that is all addressed tomorrow at the meeting. That was just one of the emails. But they were both answered and advised to go to the website and look at the new plans. But we have been trying to address every question or issue that has come up.
yes, we have.
Mayor, what's going on with the Circle K?
Circle K closed as of Sunday, the 13th. It has, I hear, been sold. I'm not 100% certain if it was sold to who I've heard it's been sold to, and I have not reached out to the possible new owners yet to see what they are planning on putting in. But I will tell you that who I heard purchased it owns property on 82 and 44 and across from the Dollar General in Shalersville.
And those are that's one of the internally illuminated signs that will have to be changed.
Right,
Correct.
I mean,
Yep. because we don't even know what the use is gonna be.
right, so.
Yeah.
That's a sign that will have to come down.
So check one sign off.
Yeah,
Great.
one sign down. First one on the hit list.
Yes.
And Paula, the other, I've been thinking about what you just, the concerns about the stuff outside and stuff like that. And I don't mean to offend anyone whatsoever, but I think a lot of what happens with, especially the Dollar General up towards the corner, is management. Management is a big part of what goes on with those places too. It's not just the corporation, it's also the people that run them, and I know we can't control that, but I feel that's a lot of it. You know what I mean?
I can believe that because the Shaler'sville one and the Manaway Center one, they are operated. Their appearances are different
Right.
internally and so on. And management does make a huge difference. But as you say, we can't control that on either end. But the Dollar General Corporation has to be able to.
I wish that we could, suggest that it's a manager who is a village resident, because it would be a different. I know we can't do that. I'm just saying, I wish one of our own was, had something to do with the business, because then it would have a different feel and a different look. But I think a lot more people in the village take pride in what they do in their homes than just having somebody bust in to be the manager. But
So, and I'm wondering if maybe the size of the store has something to do with how much they can put on shelves and what has to be put on portable things and moved out. So, and I know the one at the corners is about half the size of the one in Shaler'sville.
right. Yeah, right.
But I think we can ask them not to have outside sales.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure. We can ask them to do a lot of things.
Yep.
My only concern there is we ask there, are we gonna have to prohibit it uptown? And the reason I ask is because as much as I love seeing how things are coming around uptown, I have noticed that one of the stores on Main Street has been putting their wares out on the sidewalk during the day.
That may be something we have to look at.
Right. I noticed that one of the businesses at the south end of town puts their tires out for sale. So I don't know. We can't pick and choose just because
No.
some people don't like a Dollar General store.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. So we need to decide. That will have to come up in planning, Tammy. We'll just have to, if we're going to do it for one, then we have to do it for all. So.
Okay, let's see, I think I'm done with. Any other questions? Paula, did we answer all of your questions that you had?
Well, I was just raising concerns of non-related residents who have
Right.
talked to me.
I understand.
There are some.
I was not home all day yesterday.
Barney, you're one of them.
Yeah, so, but yes, I saw that the planning chair and I had both received emails yesterday, so, when I wasn't available, so. Okay, Ben, anything else?
No, I haven't nothing. Other than the fact y'all have a great Christmas if I
You
don't
too,
see you.
Ben.
Yeah, you too, Ben.
Enjoy.
Hang on, don't wrap it up yet. I got a few things.
Okay,
All right, first thing is that I was wondering what happened to Circle K because I'm a recluse. I hardly ever leave my house. And then I drove past on Monday and it was closed at like 7:30 and I'm like, Well, I wonder what's going on there. I wasn't realizing that they're closing early because of COVID or something like that, but they closed.
Closed.
Wow. So I got to walk to down the road to get my my candy then for my Candy Jones. Okay. All right, but on a more serious note, on Sunday, members of the council and the mayor received an email from a resident that had some concerns about the roles and responsibilities and the workload of the staff that supports the village after the merger goes through, right? And what I told this resident was all this is being discussed under review, and we'll have a better idea of how things are going to look as we go forward with this. So I guess I want to bring this up because I don't want to generalize, but I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Okay. So I guess my first question is, did everybody receive this email that was sent on Sunday?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Or is there anybody that didn't receive it, I should ask?
I didn't receive it.
Okay. Because I saw some weird email
I
address.
don't recall getting it.
Who sent the email?
Okay, so this is what I was going to say is I'm not sure. I'm just trying to be diplomatic. I'm not sure if it's appropriate to out these people and say who sent the email or
Right.
the exact content of the message in this forum, right? So I guess my question is, do we want to know who sent it, and do we want to know exactly what was said?
No, that's all right. I'll look. Sometimes I don't open every email that I get because I get hundreds of them a day.
Yeah.
So I don't open all of them. If I don't know the name, I might not open it.
Yeah.
You know the name.
You would know this name.
All right.
Yes,
All right.
I'm sorry.
I'll check tomorrow, see if I got it.
Yeah. If not, I'll send it to you. But do you see what I'm saying? Does anybody else want to know who this is from and what we're talking about? Because I guess one of your roles is being specifically targeted here, and I'm not sure if this is open, if you want to open this up for discussion right now. So you guys tell me.
No, I haven't read the email, so.
I think that she may be addressing an issue. However, it's something that I believe we've been told in the past. Once you are in a position, based on the public, that you're there based on the status of the job at the time that you were elected. So I'm not sure that at this point we can really do a whole lot to make any changes, any current changes. But
okay.
Yeah.
You can't.
I guess I just want to make sure
you got a term to
on board
serve
with how I.
out. You got to serve it out.
I'm sorry. Ben, can you say one more time? I was talking to him. I'm sorry.
No, if you're elected for a 4-year term, you're there for 4 years.
Yeah.
Unless you resign.
Okay.
That's.
Yep. No, that's cool. I just wanted to acknowledge that the message was received, and I just wanted to see if we wanted any further discussion on it. That's all.
Well, I think that finance should probably discuss it, and I think service should discuss it, and I think we should talk about it together at some point.
Sure.
And I didn't receive it, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm not sure I did either.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you get it,
I'll
Marty.
send it to both you guys. Because like I said, I saw some strange email addresses on there that I didn't recognize, and I wasn't sure if everybody got it or not. And then another issue that was brought up was the Potato Festival, having to pay the surcharge, only using it, a few times a year and that. But it sounds like, I mean, we're moving forward with what we have to take care of that. So I think we're good there. All right. Any questions about any of that before I go on? I got one more thing. Okay,
Nope.
cool. All right, so my last thought and opinion is any organization has a hierarchy or a chain of command that needs to be observed and respected in order for it to be successful. And I would apply that to the village here as well. An example that I'm going to use is the service department. The service department reports up to the village administrator. So my ask for anybody that's listening right now is that if you have a special request for the service department, please run that through the village administrator. Because it's kind of, the chain of command, everything runs up through the village administrator in that regard. So Just please do us a favor and try not to subvert that and just follow the chain of command there. That's all I have.
No problem.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, you too, Matt.
Have a safe one.
Stay inside, Matt.
Yeah, be safe.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
too.
Christmas.
Okay.
Marty, I'll get you to make sure you get that email. Motion to adjourn?
So
So
move.
moved.
Second.
Ben,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Paula.
Yes.
You guys stay safe and have a good evening.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes.
Merry